Coming at you from Scratch Wolf Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. Sitting across from me, the Ed McMahon. So I'm not Johnny Carson. Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And coming out from the farther reaches, we've got the one and only CJ.
Howdy, y'all.
And the mysterious M.
Hello.
And how we all doing, everybody?
Doing great now.
I'm okay.
Well, pretty good.
One
day after all.
Yes, it is. And hey, to all of you, welcome again to Rage Across the Internet. If this is your very first show, welcome. It's a place where we talk about all aspects of Werewolf the Apocalypse from both the storyteller and player perspective. And if it's not your first show, hey, welcome back.
Thanks for being here.
Well, you have to be here, you creep.
To everybody else, whether it's your first time or not your first time, thanks for being here.
I don't believe him, but I do share the sentiment.
Good enough. I have to. You're right, I have to be here. It doesn't make me a creep.
No, there's several other reasons for that. we can get to the deposition if you want.
No. We're no statute of limitations.
Or bring up the list of lists.
No lists. No lists. We only have one list today, and we'll get to that soon enough.
That actually was pretty good.
Yeah, haha.
Okay.
That would have been a whiz-bang of a segue.
We got stuff to talk about first, though.
We do. It has not happened yet by the time of this airing. But it's worth noting that there's a rumor. Ooh, there's a rumor.
Little birdie talk to you, huh?
Yeah, little corrects.
Oh,
little
loudmouths.
Little corrects might have brought something to my attention. Somebody is looking around at the possibility of reopening the store.
Holy shit.
It's not a done deal, but we may be looking into that possibility. So, if there was some merch you wanted and didn't get, or, you missed the boat on that entirely, you might be getting your second chance before too long. You keep your ear to the ground.
RAI merch. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you're thinking. If you want it, we'll look into it.
But wait till it's open. I don't want to get people's hopes too high yet.
That's what I said. Let us know what you're thinking.
I know if we do, we have to stock some baby clothes in again. You laugh. There are RAI onesies out in the world.
No, it's weird. It's funny.
Super cool.
Awesome.
That's hilarious.
And we know some people who have had kids since the store has closed.
And the kids that did have those baby clothes have grown up, and maybe they need some new ones.
I wouldn't say grown up. It's not been that long.
Okay.
It's not like, now they're 40.
Wow, that was
they grew mustaches.
Right?
Whoa.
Yeah, send in your RA onesie and we'll trade you for a mustache comb. It's fine.
An RAI mustache comb. I'd buy that.
Do you have a mustache?
I mean, I have a full beard.
Do you have a mustache?
I mean, it comes with a mustache.
All right.
I don't like it. But I'm not shaving it either.
You keep that shit trimmed down too far. I'd call that heavy stubble.
Heavy stubble?
Sure. I would call that heavy stubble.
I mean, if I can do this.
Yeah, it's heavy stubble. I can braid this.
You can braid that. Yeah, well, that's different.
Not like a lot. Like, not to an impressive extent, but enough to prove a point.
Yeah, but no. See, if mine gets any longer, it starts to curl. And then it curls into my skin. That's where you brush it. Yeah, but I hate it.
Well, then don't have a beard.
That's what the mustache comb is for.
Right? See, it's full circle. This ain't even This Week in Bullshit.
It's not even there yet. Nope, not yet.
I like how we made that segment for shit like this, and then are going outside the lines of the segment for shit like this.
Did you expect anything else?
No one should expect anything else. It's just it's how we do it. We do whatever we want.
Who knows what to expect?
The show was wild touched, frankly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's just us expressing a little bit of that wild energy out into the world.
We got the whole try it here. Because, we're using Weaver Tech,
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Danny's basement. He is assuredly of the worm.
Whoa! If you see my basement...
Legally, I have not seen it.
Like I said, that means you escaped.
It actually makes me an accomplice at this point. Not loving it.
Allegedly, you've seen his basement.
Yes. There you go. I've allegedly seen his basement.
Help me, get me out of here.
You know, that's how I used to answer the phone for telemarketers.
Oh, that was so goddamn funny.
Yeah, Danny's heard it.
Yeah.
I'd pick up the phone and go, help, I don't know where I am. And they'd be like, hello. I'm like, I found this cell phone in the mud. I don't know. I woke up here and I don't know where I am. I don't know my way out. Can you call somebody?
It happened when we were recording the Earth Blood of More Blood playthrough.
Oh, okay.
It did. Well, unfortunately, it would just happen to be one of those times where it got corrupted and that version of whatever episode didn't show up.
That whole playthrough was cursed.
Which is
I say that whole, we only did half of it.
We did half of it. Promised to go back, and we absolutely lied because we're not going
I'm
back.
not. You can't make me. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, worry. So I played through the entire game myself, so nobody else had to. It's not worth it. The fucking disc has been sitting in my little collection of games for a while now, and I finally found an excuse to get rid of it.
I imagine people.
I played through a lot of it.
Why? Just watch us suffer.
I wouldn't endorse anyone watching us do that. I wouldn't. No, it's a terrible playthrough.
We're not good at the game, but we made it a good time.
But we had a good time. I don't think it's a good watch.
That's fair.
So, and what caused you to run away from Earth Blood of More Blood?
It was just like stealth the game.
Well, all you had to do is hit, what was it, triangle, and shift to Krynos, and the stealth part was over, regardless of whether or not there are enemies on the map. Our playthrough proved that.
Yep.
Yep.
Once you shift to Krynos by mistake, entire area resets. Do it again.
Do it again.
It was just stealth the game.
Like 20 enemies. Yep.
I fucking destroyed
So you
that
get the
room.
boss fights,
Yeah.
which are... Yeah.
So damn funny. Or the one time where I played stealth and hid behind like the staircase and just kept whistling for everyone to come up, and they just let that pile of bodies sit there. No one noticed. The pile just keeps getting bigger.
It reminds me of Mom and
I
Dad.
bet game released like 10 years ago. You think it would have been better received?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't even want to... I have lost the knowledge of how long that development cycle was, the time between announcement and release.
Oh, yeah.
It was aggressively too long. But I have no longer have that knowledge, and I'm glad that I don't anymore. I don't need that taking up space. I just know that would have been an awesome PS3 game.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
PS3. Yes. Agreed.
Still wouldn't have been well written.
So... But...
Is that an episode? No, it's not.
No, it's not an episode.
I mean, we could do it. I could do an episode on why it's terrible.
Yes.
Like, just from a narrative
Or
standpoint.
how to fix it.
Or that, but we're not gonna.
No way.
No. That's just the worst idea. Anyway, so this week in bullshit,
Yeah. Let's
which
start
we
there.
kind of already started. But Danny, I know you have something because you tried to say it earlier and I made you stop.
Yep. You hold on to that, because it's going to be fun to talk about.
And I want to go in blind.
So, everyone loves Oreos, right?
No,
Okay, no, most people love Oreos.
I'll give you that.
Oreos have different flavors all the goddamn time. Hell, I saw one the other day. It was, you open the pack, is it going to be blue Oreos or red Oreos? Is it the light side or the dark side for Star Wars?
I was going to say, I'm sorry, we have Jedi Oreos now?
Yes.
Okay.
I know, it's so disappointing.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. I mean, shit, there are peanut butter Oreos, and those are fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. But there are multiple flavors of Oreos.
Sure.
Everyone, I'm sure, even has their favorite kind, but There's one that I saw, and I will never, ever forget this. It was cookies and cream Oreos.
Isn't that just...
Isn't that just Oreos?
Yeah, isn't it just Oreos?
Yes. So it's Oreo-flavored Oreos. Congratulations. They've done it.
10 out of 10. Good.
They've gone full circle. There's nothing else they can do, apparently. They have Oreo-flavored Oreos. Congratulations.
I could look this up. Real quick and see if this is like an actual thing and how it's like presented, but I assume you actually looked into it at all.
Nope, I saw it and I was just like,
Oreo crushed up in the cream?
It looks like
I just looked it up, and it's like a double stuffed Oreo, but the inside is just like speckled with the Oreo color.
Yeah, it's cookies and cream flavored ice cream inside. As this is what it looks like. The stuffing is just looks like cookies and cream.
Is it like an ice cream sandwich but with Oreo cookies, or is it like actual just Oreos?
Well, because you just said ice cream.
Well, so if you were to look at cookies and cream flavored ice cream. It looks like what
cookies... Yes, exactly.
It just looks like what the ice cream looks like.
But cookies and cream ice cream looks like Oreos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly the fucking problem here.
Ice cream. Like I could honestly get behind cookies and cream like Oreo like ice cream sandwiches.
But that's ice cream sandwiches, so that's a different thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be a nightmare of mine, but I can see the appeal for other people.
Yeah.
So is it called cookies and cream flavored, or do they have the balls to actually call it cookies and cream Oreo? Or is it just original?
No.
Because that's what it is.
That's what they call it. It's cookies and cream.
I actually heard that the reason why they keep coming out with flavors is to drive sales of the original Oreo flavor.
Well, I would wager, making money and all, but fucking cookies and cream is what Oreos are.
Uh-huh.
It's two cookies with fucking cream in the center.
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
Yes. Shit, my wife buys it when they're like the pumpkin pie flavored for Thanksgiving, and I was like, these are disgusting. Why are you doing this to me?
Who's disgusting at all? Those cookies taste like chalk.
And the peanut butter ones are good. I liked those.
If you want a peanut butter cookie, go get Nutter Butter Bites.
Those are also good.
Those are superior.
I don't know about superior, but good.
They're superior. They are the superior peanut butter cookie.
I only like vanilla wafers.
That is so you that I am forced to believe it.
No other cookie is good, just vanilla wafers.
That ring show up yet?
I just found something.
What was that?
He said, did the ring show up yet?
No.
Perfect. Did the ants show up?
No idea what we're talking about.
It's fine.
No.
I could add on to this cookies and cream Oreo sort of monstrosity with apparently something else that Oreo makes that it's just so fucking cursed. I looked up the cookies and cream ones. It's just like speckled Oreo cream. That's it.
Yeah.
And then on the related search, the next thing right to it was Oreo churros.
I would try that.
At least it's a different format.
Right.
It's not just a normal Oreo cookie pretending to be something else.
Pretending to be another Oreo cookie.
It looks like they took like the Oreo cookie and just shaped it into a churro and filled it with the Oreo cream. That's it.
I would try it.
Hear me out. Oreo, little peanut butter on top, and a slice of jalapeno.
Why? Why would you throw the jalapeno in there? I'll dip Oreos in peanut butter all the time.
Well, let's hold on here, Mr. Judgy. Now, we have a long-standing, I don't want to call it a game. We absolutely have. But I would say thought experiment.
Yes.
Around the REI Discord for years.
With the cheese.
Yes. which you have done in real life.
Yes. The peanut butter jelly sandwich with cheese on it.
So this game, this thought experiment, is predicated on the knowledge that a sandwich without cheese is just a lie. So inevitably, someone hits you back with, what about a peanut butter and jelly?
Wait, because that's, yes.
Right. Which is where this started. So the game, or the thought experiment, becomes, well, how would you do that?
Yeah.
How would you put together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with cheese? Like, gun to your head, you have to do it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't do it.
But that's not, you can't
not the
say
game,
no with a hypothetical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have done...
What's the fun in it?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So I've done ricotta. I've done cream cheese, both delicious. Swiss, really good. American, not so good. Cheddar, not bad, but not great.
This psychopath has done this. This is my point.
Not once. Multiple times.
4. Yes, I've tried those 4.
No, the idea
5.
isn't to do that to yourself. It's to come up with a creative answer to the question.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I go with my go-to is the honey-infused peanut butter
Yep.
on brioche with a mint jelly and a feta. Or a brie. Either one would work.
Yeah, I would try it. I haven't done that yet.
That's a lot of fancy ingredients. It's not fucking parm on Jif. With the crust cut off, because Danny can't.
No, I love the crust. That's a weird statement, and that might be the wraparound now.
So I needed to clarify that shit before Mr. Judgy Pants with the jalapeno on the peanut butter his put a slice of Kraft Singles with some strawberry jelly and some fucking Peter Pan.
Oh, you did it with Kraft?
No.
I'm assuming.
Well, the
Was it
American...
Velveeta?
No, American. When I did with the
Gross.
American cheddar or the American cheese, yes, it was Kraft.
See?
And I didn't like it. So
It's not the point. You
Nasty.
did it.
I did it, yes.
You put that shit in your mouth. There's your memory.
Nicely done. I know, especially I know
You know
like
what? Porter?
spicy and chocolate is kind of a good mix in certain areas of the world. It's not for me. So when she said a slice of jalapeno, I don't. No thanks. Not my style.
I'm just saying, you're throwing a lot of stones here for. I need some grape
That
and
glass
Swiss,
house you're living in.
right? CJ, you were saying.
Oh, I just had a thought of like going even further with that. A sandwich without cheese is not a lie, and
No,
then
it is a
somebody
lie.
says the peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just had a thought of a sandwich that is with cheese that you do put jelly on usually, and it's a fucking Monte Cristo. All you're missing is the peanut butter at that point.
Delicious.
See, there you
I
go.
try that with a peanut butter on it.
You're not out of,
I mean,
Oh, I love a good Monte Cristo.
like I'm not endorsing what Danny's doing.
I was trying to prove a point.
I think my sandwich, my idea is edible
Yes.
because you already, you get you have the precedent already, right?
I think the cream
Fancy.
cheese one sounds just like a dessert.
I think that could be tolerable, certainly.
Yeah.
It was
But,
good.
the Kraft Singles
No, don't do the Kraft single.
and like, what are you doing?
The Kraft single was horrible.
not actually cheese.
Goddamn madman.
The cheddar was sharp cheddar too.
It's got
It had to be sharp.
And you see how he's so nondescript with the rest of it? The bread doesn't matter to him. The type of peanut
Well,
butter
it's-
doesn't matter. The
yeah.
jelly flavor doesn't matter.
It was.
I
See, he's a-
imagine it's just like regular sliced white bread
Wheat.
that comes in like the really, really large loaf, regular just Jiffy peanut butter, and then
Jif.
just whatever. And
it's the natural
grape
Jif.
jelly.
Strawberry jelly, natural Jif peanut butter.
You know what? I knew it would be the strawberry jelly.
I mean, I have both grape and strawberry. But
because you're
when I did it with
you
the
are a hate
ricotta,
crime. You're a war criminal.
I'm a worker. When I did it with the
Grape
ricotta, it was like a blackberry jam. That was really good.
But see, the fact that you don't think to add these things,
It's not necessary.
it's absolutely makes a difference. You were bad at this game, and
I like raspberry jelly.
That's a good one too. But
I like raspberry as
so,
well.
would you try a peanut butter and jelly Oreo?
I won't eat a regular Oreo. What do you want from me?
I'd try a peanut butter and jelly Oreo. If they did that, I'd try it.
They have done
I'm
that.
pretty sure they have.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't
boy.
surprise me at all.
They've definitely done that.
Dude, there are wasabi flavored Kit Kats.
I hate them. They're so disgusting.
Maybe you should put some fucking Kraft singles on them. And that'll make it better. You goddamn war
You know
criminal.
what? You know what you should do for next recording day just for Danny?
Oh, no.
Get a thing of those PB&J Oreos and a bowl of queso.
No, make the queso with Velveeta.
The look on his face right now,
I'm disturbed.
which is fucked up because it has to be better, right? That it has to be better. And slapping that shit between some Wonder Bread. Oh my God. So, okay, we're moving on from this. We're done. We're done. This, like an Oreo jamboree of horrible food decisions.
Jam. Ah.
I quit. It's my last show. Hate you forever. So I was watching Back to the Future the other day, and I wasn't. By this, I mean I was not watching Back to the Future.
Okay.
Though those of you keeping score know, I have this occasional unhealthy obsession with watching people react to shit for the first time.
Yes.
And it's just movies, right? But like it boggles my mind there are people who haven't seen Ghostbusters before. And they make a YouTube channel. Them watching Ghostbusters for the first time.
Crazy.
It's crazy, right? But it's also like it's fucked up on me that I'm participating in this shit.
Uh-huh.
But I like that watching someone, go through that for the first time. And then sometimes it's infuriating because they don't fucking pay attention.
I was gonna say. They're busy talking to their camera and pretending like their audience is actually in front of them.
Which, no, it's funny. We put on a show too. We understand that.
Yes.
But watch the movie.
Yeah, that's kind of my point, is they forget that there's a movie going on.
I watched someone, I got so mad, react to Pulp Fiction, who, there's that whole scene, and I know there are people that have not seen Pulp Fiction. I don't want to name names. It might rhyme with me, Jay.
Wait, seriously?
See? I mean, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't out anyone. You creep. I'm working on it. He's got my movie list.
So that's what matters.
But there's, the whole scene in the beginning where there's like I'm trying not to ruin, but there's that 5-minute segment where they're discussing a particular character.
Yes.
And that character's relationship to a third character.
Later on, yes, I know what you're saying, yeah.
You guys know, like, Mia Wallace, blah, blah, blah. I can say that. It's and then there's the scene where that happens, the thing they spent 5 minutes talking about. And this woman is like, who is that? Is she married? Why is he with a married woman? What's happening? Like, fucking what?
Oh my God. Did you not watch?
They talked about why, and
It was like a 5 minutes, exactly. It was like 5 minutes of the movie. Yeah. They specifically set this scene up. It's a whole chapter of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And she was
even trying to give him boundaries.
Right?
So clearly wasn't paying attention.
So mad, yeah. But the thing is I watch these, and sometimes it makes me super mad at the world, and sometimes I just enjoy it because it's like look at this person who is watching Ghostbusters, and there's the elevator joke, which I maintain is the funniest moment in that movie.
Probably, yeah.
And like half the people miss it entirely, and then we get the people who just start busting out laughing because they were paying attention and they got it.
Yep.
Like it's such a subtle joke. I love it so hard. But I'm watching Back to the Future.
Okay.
Or rather and
reaction to it.
Yeah. And it's that scene at the end at the clock tower, and Doc's up there, the line disconnects, he's going up there to fix it. And Marty's like, Doc, I gotta tell you. And then the bell tolls, right? Because it's, oh God, it's time. You gotta get in the DeLorean, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you realize that, in that movie, and if you have not seen Back to the Future, I am so sorry for you. Fix it now, please. You'll thank yourself.
Pause the show, go watch it, and then come back.
Like, even if you have to leave work, fuck it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree. It's not worth the watch.
That's insane. And now you have just ruined your credibility forever, Em. That's not even me saying that. That's just
The world.
No, people are entitled to their opinions.
they are.
It doesn't mean you're not wrong.
The point here is, goddamn it, is that there's other talk about, right, like changing history. And, fucking the bell of the clock tower tolled 3 feet from Doc Brown's head.
Yes.
How is he not deaf forever from that moment?
He should be.
Whole series invalid. There it is.
There was a movie, I don't remember what it was. There was a movie similar to that particular take, and there was a fight scene. It was in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and the fight scene was like at the bottom of this barge where all these fireworks are shooting off. So they're next to the pipes that all the fireworks are going off. Those are loud when you're 50 feet away. All right? There's no way in hell they continued fighting each other and you can hear the punches while there are fireworks going off right next to their heads.
Well, they had a really good Foley guy, is how.
Oh, okay. Well, now that I know that.
Yeah.
But, like, after watching that and me just laughing hysterically, I couldn't take the rest of the movie serious.
Well, there's 2 movies, Back in the Future, that just are now invalid.
I don't even remember what the movie was called. I was that mad.
Let's go Back to the Future.
No, the other one. The fireworks
Back to
one.
the Future 2?
No.
That's in Future 3.
Damn it. I was going to wait till he started talking again.
Yeah, anyway.
CJ, y'all got anything?
I mean, the closest thing to that is, or the closest thing that I've got to honestly something relevant is I recently got a huge fucking revelation of just how different fucking internet humor is and like how fast it changes in just a couple of years thanks to watching some of those reaction stuff. There was a series that went on that started like 6 years ago. That was a big thing in like the 40K community, which was if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. You know, this fucking godlike entity that has been supposedly dead and or dying for all these years, and they hook up a text-to-speech device, and it's just... like, half of it is kind of serious to the lore, the other bit is just injecting straight internet humor from 6 years ago, and just... It's been forever since I actually watched it again, but some of the jokes in there have not aged well, but at the same time, we're just peak internet humor of the time. And it's interesting watching people react to these for the first time.
Yeah.
And getting to see some of the people like call out things that are like, yeah, no, that didn't age well, or be all super fucking offended by it.
It used
It's
to
one
be
of the
funny.
things with yeah. Or, you know, when people, like, whenever you watch reactions for older movies, I'm gonna put Reservoir Dogs in it for one particular scene.
Fuck yeah.
It's Mr. Pink talking about dating. Like, I watched a reaction for it. Like, I started watching a reaction for it after watching it to, like, other people's ideas and how other people are reacting to it. And I immediately stopped whenever they got super fucking offended and went on, like, a 10-minute long diatribe of why this isn't okay. One of those things of, like, you have to separate the art from the artist, but you also have to separate the art from the current time sometimes. Remember when it was made.
Yes.
Hey man, I don't disagree.
It's just interesting getting to see those little time capsules, especially with those reaction channels, and just how much things have changed. Or how much they've stayed the same, because there's some dumb jokes in it that, you know, we're still telling. Like, fucking fart jokes never age.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because everybody poops.
It's the same reason why they found graffiti in Pompeii of just dicks on the wall.
It's a tale as old as time.
It's as old as the glory hole.
Probably older.
Which definitely was not a prolonged fucking discussion before we started recording today.
Of course not.
Probably older than the glory hole.
What's it called, Porter? There is a metric in video game like analysis called TTD, which is anytime there is a way for players to make a image or equivalently draw something in a game, be it with like the path that you leave behind or like an actual surface to draw. It is a time to see how fast or how long it takes players to draw a dick.
That's beautiful.
Time till dick. TTD.
Yeah. Sounds like.
You've got some games that's like, yeah, no, you just have a draw function and it's like a couple seconds. Or I remember there was some guy who spent like 30 minutes in a flight sim
Jesus Christ.
to draw it with his flight path.
You can do it in those drone simulators.
Mm-hmm. More things change, the more they stay the same, it seems.
I mean, hard to argue.
I don't have a segue.
No.
No.
So that's just it's this week in bullshit, I guess.
I think we're gonna
We're gonna call it there.
we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh! 35 minutes. Time till dick.
Rage across the internet, everybody.
It was about to take a drink.
Damn it.
Yeah, so close.
But I am without a segue here. This was just a hodgepodge of randomness.
I'm sure after that nonsense, you guys have a lot of questions.
Thief of Thunder.
What?
You stole his thunder.
Oh. You said you didn't have a segue.
He was doing it.
Yeah, that was the segue.
Oh. You had me convinced.
That's how you knew it was going to be a good one.
This is your first time listening.
See, that was a random hodgepodge of shit there with this week. Kind of like the kind of thing you'd find in a junk drawer.
I hope you wouldn't find Oreos in a junk drawer, but if you do, I'm not surprised.
That's how you get ants.
You know what they used to call the junk drawer?
We do. Actually. So why this might be called the Glory Hole Diaries.
At least you said it out loud and there's a reason for it in the title now.
This is true. This was a prolonged discussion before recording.
Yeah, but no, I knew what the title was going to be, but I had to waiting for a reason to put it in there. That's what she said.
That's the current interpretation of the word.
This isn't RAI After Dark or anything.
Well, maybe I already get the visit to the police based on. So, yes, it is time again for another episode of the Junk Drawer Diaries, where we take the questions you have submitted via our Discord, which, of course, you can find the link to at our website. That's rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com.
Link found there in the news and announcement section of the forums there. And you too could be a part of our Discord community. It's a good group of folks. But also in there, you can find both the Tale of Two Wolves and the Junk Drawer rooms where you can put those questions in for us to answer at a future date. And today happens to be that day.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to do the Junk Drawer and the Two Wolves a little bit more often so we don't get it so...
We're going to try to work through our backlog because we kind of... Let's sit for a minute.
Yeah, but we're not going to do them all in a row again. So it's just how it goes.
It's like it's time.
Yeah.
So Danny.
Yeah.
Take us to the junk drawer.
First one. This one is from Buddhist. Do the events of version 20 come after the apocalypse, or do most of you run it during revised?
Actually, the intent and this might have changed at some point during the continuation of the 20 line, and I just didn't get the memo. But the intent for 20 was that it took place, it's the Werewolf second edition meta in a modern day.
I remember you and I having that conversation, right?
Well, that was talked about in the development, in the original Kickstarter, the development of W20.
Gotcha. All right, that's an easy one, and probably don't have to go around the table for that.
Yeah, it's
pretty simple.
Yep. Then the next question is from Operator. If you play a Rokia with the pacifist flaw, are you a pacifist?
Sharks are considered fish.
Operator Porter hates you right now.
I want to die.
I love it. Thanks. It's punny.
Okay.
This is what we've waited all these months for?
Yeah.
All right.
Brother Mouse asks, how would you guys run werewolf in the post-apocalypse, as in a regular non-splat related apocalypse, not the worm coming to eat everything, or the time of judgment?
I've got an idea.
Go ahead.
My first instinct would be to honestly run it as a Dark Age game with sprinkling of finding ruins and relics from a lost time. You know, one of those things that's so far post-apocalypse that the world, that the cycle is beginning again.
I dig it.
Sounds fun.
Or, just go full Fallout and make the world your own, or Mad Max.
See, I was
And
expecting...
see what the Guard get up to when they don't have to hide.
See, I was expecting both of those during the course of this. I'm looking Planet of the Apes.
Ooh.
The original, not the newer ones.
Okay.
Which, by the way, are solid fucking movies, and watch them. But, the idea of a world where Garu have evolved from men. That'd be fun.
Yeah, a little bit.
Solid Charlton Heston too, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Nice.
Just stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape. Where's my AK?
Em, did you want to add anything to that?
I feel like they covered all the good options.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the first thing that popped into my head was zombies, but that's just bad.
Fair. All right, then the next one from Operator says, who's your favorite werewolf artist?
Oh, Ron Spencer.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll agree to Ron Spencer, and then next up would probably be Paul Way.
I was, shame on me for not.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
How about either of you two?
I don't know enough of the artists, names and signatures to recognize them off the top of my head. Of the ones that I do know, Ron Spencer is definitely up there.
Fair.
I also don't know the names, but I like the art in the Book of the Worm.
Okay. That works.
Depending on your version, that absolutely includes Ron Spencer. Although, maybe not depending on your... It's not the point.
All right, then, Edgelord, have you ever thought about writing werewolf-related stories? Something like a short story featuring one of your NPC packs in your own seps.
I'll let you two... I will answer that last.
Okay. I'll say, no, I haven't thought about writing it, but I'm not a writer. Mm-hmm. But I do know of some short stories of some possible NPCs that I know of. We'll say it that way.
I've kind of tried it once or twice whenever I've been trying to develop some NPCs to get a better, more fleshed out feel, and so I've tried to do what Porter does with the NPC of the month for a few of them. And especially the first Elder that I am currently still trying to write, it has turned into more of a short story to like explain, hey, how are they an elder? Why are they actually impressive? And or to have little anecdotes that I can bring up in game if they ever need to tell a story.
Embo?
Just call me Embo?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like an elbow, but your name is M.
I thought it sounded more like Rambo.
Yes.
Second blood.
Yes. That.
Yes. Ouch. Yeah, I actually started kind of a short story about one of my characters in the pack that she was in, and I'm kind of writing on that occasionally. So I have thought about doing that. I'm currently kind of in the process of doing so.
Nice.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yes, for me. I think some of that I can't talk about right now.
Well, you have done like some of the one of the NPC of the month.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Well,
tell my story. Thief.
So what about one of your NPC entries that one time, Porter?
Well, how awkward of you to ask, Danny.
This is a perfect segue. Thank you.
Oh, my God. It's a banner episode, folks. No, I did. I had a few that I had written on my own. I was actually working on a larger project at one time. I got distracted. And I sent it out in lieu of an NPC of the month, 1 month, just to see, change things up. See, but it was not well received. People want their NPCs.
Huh. All right. Next, Ren. Have you ever used a place you worked at real life as you set up for your own games? Say like a warehouse or a factory.
I mean, it's nice to draw from experience. I kind of base some of the areas off of things I've noted in real life. I think we kind of talked about this in another episode. Like every Walmart has a Starbucks out in the parking lot.
Yeah, that was a few weeks ago, yeah.
Well, I think it's particularly topical, too, because we just recorded the postmortem, just recently, recorded the postmortem for the dinner bell caper.
Right.
Which featured a location that I pulled the layout directly from a place I was working.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you did tell us that.
Yeah, so that is strange that this is happening now, because that question was asked, back in September?
April, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was May, yeah.
Still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing better on this.
Well, this is junk drawer. The two wolves were still in September.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. But we're in the correct year with these. That's just
we're at least in the correct year. Yep.
Yeah.
These are quicker, I think.
Yes, they're definitely quicker.
Yeah, I've based it less on the actual layout and more of the general vibe and setup of place.
Which is just as important.
I
think the layout is just a lazier way to map something.
Probably.
I do it a lot.
But sometimes you don't need to be super complex with it.
True.
Okay. Next, operator again asks, what's your favorite form? And I'll go first, I guess. And I think Hispo is the most badass. Like a wolf, but like a Sherman tank version.
Could name your Hispo that.
Name my Hispo Sherman tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a player whose human name was Dean Pelton. It's true.
Okay.
Not Craig Pelton, like the character's name.
Yeah, I know.
But Dean like
Pelton.
the job. Yeah, he's Dean Pelton.
Ding, ding. Oh boy. All right, Em, what's your favorite of the forms?
I don't know. They each have their own like little benefits.
Yes, but
Hard to choose a favorite. If I were to have to choose,
And you do.
claw to my throat. If I had to choose,
See what you did there.
yeah, nice. You about to roll the auspice die?
I might actually.
Oh my god.
No, I don't have any dice on me right now. They're all the new place.
She's gonna roll it. It's gonna say,
Wow. I'm gonna roll it in my head. Shoot.
You just gonna roll,
I
it's gonna
can't
say
do that.
Hamid.
Hamid is my favorite.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. Probably Lupus.
Okay. CJ?
My gut reaction, and like from what I remember of like the descriptions of them, I originally would have said Krynos. But reading the descriptions for forms in Changing Ways, just the way that they describe the, once again, tank of a wolf that is Hispo, it's just a really fun form, and once again, the description for it in that book is fucking peak. There's some good and bad in that book. The descriptions of the form is definitely among the good.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, I think, Changing Ways is the reason why I picked Hispo.
No, I agree that, especially, again, Changing Ways is getting some love today.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Really paints a better picture of Hispo and total respect. Part of me wants to say Krynos, because it's what started it all, right?
Sure.
Like, it's the appeal of being a goddamn werewolf in the first place.
Agreed.
Is that raw fucking force of nature form that just, you fuck off and you're gone. You're Dunyan rings, man. However, I gotta go with Fish Lupus. Because, man, do I respect a form that can't exist on the place the game is played. There's just something about flopping around, not being able to breathe, that is just the bee's knees. And 12 out of 10, frankly.
It'd be 0 out of 10 because you can't breathe anymore.
I said 12 out of 10, sir. That's my answer. Fish Lupus, all day.
12 isn't 12 seconds because that's about as long as you got until you're done breathing.
12 out of 10.
Okay. Operator again wants to know what are some of the biggest or most consistent sources of Inspirato?
For me, it's always been music. Although I've gotten a little, more than a little, Inspirato out of like true crime and various horror. You know, I'll hop into like Tubi or whatever you're streaming. Usually Tubi though, because they have like the largest, most ridiculous section in terms of horror. And you can find some neat ideas for creature design or things like that. Just watching just really shitty movies. How do you make this cool? Kind of thing.
Nice.
But that and music predominantly. CJ?
For me, it's usually one of two places. Usually it's something akin to like the more horror-centric like animes. That's where you get some like the really weird and funky monsters. But also I've ended up lifting stuff from lifting and taking inspirations from like other game settings. Like one of my favorites that I try to work this monster into any game that I can because I just love the concept in that is the D&D False Hydra. It is this like I think I brought it up on the creature design for one of the ideas, but the whole idea is this Hydra creature that while it has multiple heads, some of them sing, and the noise that they make makes you unconsciously delete it from your memory. And anybody eaten by the false Hydra is forgotten. So there is this seemingly invisible creature that just keeps growing and eating more and more people as people in the town don't know about it. You might run into it without realizing it, but whenever you start hearing it again, or whenever you pick yourself up, you might rationalize it as you just tripped over your own feet, or you bumped into a wall or something. And there's moments where you're talking to somebody who you haven't seen in a little while, you're asking these questions, you're asking like, hey, how's the next person doing? And their only response is usually like, who? It really fucking freaks out the players. And it's like being able to capture moments like that is great.
That is pretty cool. Gotta appreciate Delirium Hydra.
Nice.
I draw a lot of my inspiration from books I read or like weird stories I listen to via like podcasts or just like true crime stuff on the internet. I recently finished a book, The Crooked Staircase, and got some ideas from that I'm kind of piecing together.
Sweet.
Cool.
Mind control kind of stuff. Very interesting. Yeah.
All right. Then onward. Ren again. What's the deal with Moonsilver?
Well, Moonsilver. And this is, I'm going to say, unfortunately, this is a good question. Which sounds weird. But it's that Moonsilver was omitted from Umbra 20.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I think you did. You just forgot because we covered it in the other episode.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I remember that now.
Yeah, Moonsilver is, it's silver from Luna. You have to get it from her directly in the ethereal realm. It does extra damage. It removes the gnosis penalty. And you only need a coating of it. Like it's the subject of, or it should be, right? This isn't something you hand out. Should be the subject of the reward for a pretty meaty quest.
Uh-huh.
And again, you get there, then you have to deal with Luna. And so
the quest in itself.
Like it's a significantly big deal. It should be super rare and sparsely used, but it was not included in 20. And I don't know if that was an intended decision. I feel like it can't be because Taint of Corruption and Silver Tolerance are both still in the fucking game.
Yeah.
So like Moonsilver's too strong, but Silver Tolerance is here.
Right.
And I feel like it's probably a casualty of space versus new content written. There's a lot of that in W20. Like the core book. A lot of shit from the core book was cut because they included kind of the player's guide in that core book also. So, but that's the deal with Moonsilver. I mean, it's the base version, but yeah.
All right.
It could be a great little capstone for like a epic quest that's like the end of a chronicle.
Absolutely. But it's got to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Again, one of those ones where it's an easy answer we don't need to go around the table for. Another one from Ren. So as a silent strider, I have the gift Speed of Thought. I know the book says nothing of the drawback, but I add to my character that he is very hungry afterward. Is that a good thing to add, or would you say maybe something else?
Well, it's a nice little flourish. Isn't that built into tireless running?
It's its own gift. You spend a gnosis and you double your running speed until the end of the scene, if I'm remembering correct.
Yeah, but I know the gift you're talking about. I think it's a different name, but it's the whole idea of like you run for 3 days and nights straight, no need to like eat or sleep or drink.
But then when you stop...
But once that... Yeah, you stop.
Yeah, like you have to
pass out for like a day or two.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was tireless running, but...
I'm not sure if it's that or Messenger's Fortitude.
Could be. There's a lot of very similar Strider gifts, frankly.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a nice flourish.
Almost like they have a theme.
I agree. Good flourish. It's a good thing to add onto it. If, again, it's not necessary. It's your own game. It's your own... If that's what you feel like your character does, absolutely go for it.
Flourishes are fun, though.
No, they are. You know,
Gives it more life.
Exactly. So no, I think it's a nice one. Though I do think it is, part of... Not that that's a bad thing.
Right. A different gift, part of that gift.
Yeah, like a side effect of.
And then another one from Operator again, and this is kind of a follow-up to the last one from Ren. is what are some side effects to using gifts or other Garou-related things that isn't in the book, but you like to add anyway? So some other flourishes.
Yeah, I will yield the floor to CJNM first, because I know I have like a bit to say about that. So,
yeah, I mean, like some of the first ones that come to my mind would be stuff like what's called create elements. I can see that having a little bit of some potential fun side effects and or like backlash of it. It's especially something I can't remember exactly where I've seen it, but there was a character who could he had the ability to create fire and everything, but part of it was he had to draw the heat from somewhere. So I can see like your internal body temperature actually getting cold and maybe starting shivering after you've like created a lot of fire with create elements. And sort of flavoring it some like that, like you've used a part of yourself to create this effect. So yeah, it's a minor backlash, or a minor side effect. And I could see stuff like that being flavored in.
I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Suddenly just get a little dehydrated whenever you create water, etc.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good.
I like to think that certain gifts that require you to spend a gnosis have some kind of like physical or mental like exhaustion toll that it kind of takes. Because you're spending that. You're like utilizing it.
Smart idea.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. That should be a
mental exhaustion.
Yeah.
A spiritual one, yeah.
Spiritual exhaustion, yeah. And the spiritual exhaustion can manifest itself in different ways. It could be like mentally exhausted, could be physically exhausted, could be a different entity in itself.
Good one.
I haven't done a whole lot of side effect type things, but we are talking flourishes, and I'm going to answer this question how I want to. Take that up. But what I've always done is with sense worm.
Uh-huh.
And the better results you get, the worse that is for you. This is to say, the greater the worm presence, you might get a nosebleed. Or a migraine. Or if you're in a hive and you use sense worm, you might just pass out.
Your head's going to explode.
It might, frankly. Like, don't use sense worm and Malphite. You're Dunyan rings. It's over.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen there.
It's like a Gallagher show at that point.
And I've done something similar with like how I describe sense worm a lot of times. Like if they're in a heavily wormish area, I've done something similar where instead of it being like a nosebleed, like an oily film develops over the skin depending on how worm corrupted the area is.
That is gross.
General nastiness that lingers.
Sure.
It's gross. You'll love it, though.
But no, it's especially good because sense worm, as we know, is not an olfactory sense.
Right.
When we use the phrase "it stinks of worm," it's not literal.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. At least I used to. Everyone's like, "Oh, I want to go sense worm," but you're not smelling.
Well, that was the
anything.
cocaine.
Oh, sorry. Let me put that away.
That's a different thing. But
yeah, it's you're not physically smelling anything.
No, it's like a spidey sense,
right?
Which is not actually one for one either, because that's not how the spidey sense works. But fucking, you understand. Don't mess with me.
Sniff. I want to go
If
sniff
you
for
use consumer
worms.
terminology, it's a vibe check.
Yeah, you check those vines. Beyond that, though, with gifts, I like to do a physical representation sometimes. I'll do Mother's Touch
with the blue light.
Yeah, like a blue glow from the palm of the hand. Or Battle Mandala again is I think the most infamous one, where it's the light in the ground forming the symbol of the glyph in circle.
Fucking cool.
Right, it's just a good visual. I just enjoy that.
It helps.
Yeah, like the little things like that to make a more cinematic scene, I think. It doesn't hurt anything. Yeah, the rules don't say it, but what's cooler? And aren't we, He's a storyteller. Is your job not to entertain and engage your fucking audience?
Right. Ring the bell.
Right?
If you're playing 10-foot tall murder machines, might as well have fun and make it cool.
Well, how do you not? I mean, you're already there.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you not have fun talking about goddamn werewolf? You fucking, come on.
But do you have any of those?
Do I? No. No, I'm not a storyteller. I'm not very good at this whatsoever.
You don't have to be a storyteller to add flourish to your character's abilities.
You're right, and I'm still bad at it. All right, we got a few here from Ginger.
Hey.
What is your favorite canonical myth or legend fixed into the World of Darkness? And if you could, what would you add to it?
It's an interesting question.
I've got an idea.
Hit it.
Like, the first thing that comes to my mind is, a spirit or similar creature to bring the Green Knight into a werewolf-focused, or just World of Darkness in general, creature. Where part of that myth is, it's the knight that challenges you to something, whether it be to, strike him or whatever. And whatever you do to him, he'll deal back. But ultimately, the knight is immortal / unkillable. So I could see that being worked into a spirit for a possible rank challenge or something to be one of those things of can you figure out the puzzle? Or are you just going to take the brute force approach? And if so, can you soak it?
Huh.
I can soak it, but I am the knight.
Just every opportunity you can get, right?
Look, you are talking about knights, and he was talking about soaking, and I just did the math.
Okay.
And the math said I win.
Couldn't help it.
Not sure. I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I do like some of the legends on how some of the tribes began, but I don't think I'd add anything to them. I don't like to alter other people's stories.
That's fair. And I'll agree that I enjoy each of the tribe's versions of how they all started. And how each tribe has their own version of how it started. Going back to our original tribal series, that was, some of the first stories you'd always talk about is how that tribe portrays the origins, their origins, and then the other tribe's origins, and each of them were all different.
I mean, it's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of it's there's so many. How do you pick? I know I'll say I enjoyed. This isn't really an answer. I'll say I enjoyed the shit out of at least how I portrayed the red talent stake.
Yes, I thought you were gonna go there. I thought you would.
I had so much fun with that.
Yeah.
We had the worm show up, and that was just a lot of fun. I think maybe if I'm going to contribute something to it, it would be that the worm does sound like this. Just for our own amusement.
It's fine.
I'm going to get you with balefire. Sorry.
All right, then next, because again, Ginger's got a few here, so. What is your favorite of the underestimated gifts, rights, or merits that you would love to see people use more often? Or not, and keep maybe to yourself?
If you guys would allow, I've got something literally off the top of my head right now.
Absolutely, hit it.
Spirit of the Lizard. I have literally never seen anybody else I've ever played with take it. And even whenever I was describing it to Porter, he seemed baffled.
No, it was the first.
Yeah, exactly. I love Spirit of the Lizard. You sprout, you become Spider-Man, but it's Spirit of the Lizard. You get the tiny lizard hooks.
So you become a snake
on your hands. Yeah, and you just can climb. You can climb. the walls. You can climb the ceiling. There's so many uses. Like, it's a gift that like people have been sleeping on it. Like,
and I have suddenly had flashes.
I want to use it all the time.
Of a Pax Ragabash using it, right, to get up, to get up to the ceiling. And then when he's up there, he's like, hey, guys, he does a little jig. I'm Lionel Richie. I'm Lionel Richie, guys. Come on. Hello?
Not where I thought you were going with that.
It's what came into my brain when Em was talking. It's what's in my heart.
It's fine.
And I'm sharing it with all of you.
I'll say I appreciate the more practical ones. The ones that will help you out, not just in combat, but like just practical uses. Like what was it, slop for the bonars? So they just turn anything they can into food. It might not taste great, but it's at least nourishment kind of thing.
It's the cookie gift.
There we go. Just something along those lines, or Glasswalkers for the credit card one.
I think you're thinking of the Loon's refund.
That one too.
That's a fetish.
Okay, still.
That just made me think of Trick Shot, which is not my answer.
I got my eye on Trick Shot, but for different reasons and a different story. So,
CJ?
I had two answers originally. I've got one now, thanks to Danny. But yeah, no, cooking was going to be the first one because I don't get to see people use it a lot, and it's one of those fun gifts that can be just a total fucking gross out moment. But at the same time, if you got to do what you got to do if you're hungry. I've used it as in like one of the NPCs that the pack met was making waffles, and the batter he was using was the stuff he made from the cooking gift.
That sounds...
There was like magazines and shit that he was ripping up to put in the coffee can to fill up.
Oh. No, as soon as you said that, I got grossed out.
Yep. But the fun part was, the pack did the smart thing. It did not accept the waffle that was offered. The actual answer for me is shadow weaving.
Before you go on, did he call it an awful waffle?
No.
Will he from now on?
Probably. My actual answer is shadow weaving. It's a level 1 Shadow Lord gift that allows you to, with a roll, basically control the shadows within 100 yards of you and shape them as you will. It can help with stealth, it can help with intimidation, or if you pick up the shadow cutting gift later on as a Shadow Lord. I can't believe I've never seen anybody try doing this for like stealth attacks and everything, where you basically get to hurt somebody from around a corner. They have no idea where it came from.
I feel like it's like a portable shroud, which is better. Now, for me, if you've been keeping score, I'm notoriously bad with gifts because I don't pay attention to them usually. Like, I got other shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Like, I know most people like, oh, what's the gift? And I was like that once upon a time too. But it's like I'm looking at other stuff now, so I'm not great on those. However, and maybe you guys can help with the name of the gifts. Maybe not. I can describe it. It's a menace gift. I think it's called like Rat Head or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the name.
Is it? I know that gift.
Yeah. Where you can squeeze
Love that one.
into spaces like a rat.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So like you're
so disturbing, so great.
Exactly. Like you're trying to break into the warehouse or whatever, and there's like a quarter size space between the door. You can use that gift and fucking cartoon rat squeeze yourself through the fucking space of the door.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so creepy.
Yeah.
Once you
scare the crap out of anybody on the other side.
Yeah, you have to be able to fit your head through it. That's the only restriction.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Still though.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't specify which form you're in.
That's fantastic.
So
Yeah.
Shift down to lupus, stick your head through a little gap and just writhe on through.
It's a
Metis
great gift.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
rat
Metis
head.
gift.
Okay,
It is rat head.
It is rat head.
Yeah.
I've taken it before.
Sweet. I feel good. Look at that. I did it.
It's level 1.
Yep.
shit.
My other answer is you don't see Master of Fire very often. I had to.
No comment.
On the other end of that question, though, they did mention like rights. There are a lot of rights that I would love to see actually used, but they don't always go in context with the types of games you play as the, protagonists of the game.
I will agree, though. There are a few more, because Ginger did say underestimated gifts, rights, or merits. So yeah, I'll agree with there are a few rights out there that'd be cool to see a little bit more often.
Well, I think rights in general I'd like to see more often. But again, you have to do it.
Right.
And not just go, I'm doing the right of rightness.
When we did that a few weeks ago, we had that episode.
There needs to be a reason for the right.
Also true. And we did not. We did the gift episode.
Oh, that's right, because it'll be coming up soon then. Because we said we're going to do it again.
Yeah, that's the next episode of the Practical Thirst.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Thank you. Then how do you make sure you play your character with all the flaws? Mine, when I had Jaeger Gorefest, was pretty simple. Like, I took the crowd, the fear of crowd one. That seemed, whenever there were more people around, I took that as more, like, angry, more agitated. That made it a little simpler.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job with that. It was annoying, so you did a pretty good job with it.
Then thank you. I'll take it.
Like from a storyteller, it was irritating. Because you got all squirrely and be like, I just don't want. Like, well, fucking, when you take your turn. He's like, no, you're doing your job. Good job.
It was half or half. I'll admit that. It was a little bit of half and half.
You prick. I'm remembering that.
I was trying to do my job, but I was also like, I gotta stretch this a little bit.
I remember that. Someone's going to lose a basketball game.
He already did.
Ah, well.
He's going to lose another one, huh?
That's right.
Probably if he ever plays again.
Yeah, his legs aren't broken.
Yet.
I just try not to take too many flaws. I maybe do one, sometimes two, but never more than that. And I don't take them if I don't think I can work them into the character well enough to portray them when needed.
All right.
Siege?
It's one of those things of like, I usually try taking flaws that I think will fit or will provide for like potential interesting events down the road, if not immediately. And I haven't gotten to play with many of Nightfang's flaws yet, but the major one that he has is it hasn't come up with, and I think I need to talk to Porter more about it to see if it sticks or if we work on something else. This is just stuff I haven't used to trigger it or anything like that. If you're going off purely rules as written.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, for the most part, it's one of those things of like, I try to keep it in mind. And yeah, play them up as often as I can, but at the same time, there are points where it's like, this is kind of detrimental, so I can't help the ST brain kicking in of like, will this help the scene, or will it hinder it, or will it just do nothing? And so sometimes I'll play them up more or less, just depending on what's going on. So probably not the best example for how to do it.
I have a couple on Cartly. They just haven't come up.
Well, again, I'm probably like the least qualified to answer this question. But
or the most, depending on what your answer is.
Well, no, because I have the least experience playing of the group. Yes.
Okay. But you have all those NPCs who do the same.
It's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I will, M was onto something for sure. So I would say, from the other side of that is, don't take more than you need. I know there are people out there who are like, but I want the extra bonus points. Fuck the points, man. No, you will get experience and you can spend. Fuck the points. All right.
Agreed.
Build a character. And when you do that, make sure it's someone you can play. I go back to the old Fluffy, the old chestnut. I mean, it was a character that spawned the rule. You don't play something you can't commit to and play.
Right.
And in fact, I don't even want to bring that up right now. But I know that character, or because of that character, I scrapped a character. A Hakan I was working on named Kakato Kanzaki, who appeared in name only in The Guilty, by the way.
I remember.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I like the name. But it was the original model for Jude.
Right.
Is he was going to be the fish out of water, was going to do like a coming to America kind of thing, where he was here for a specific purpose. And so I was here, it's all culture shock, isn't this? And it was only going to be like a 6 or 8 part little arc that he'd be there for. And I knew already that I would be bored.
After 1.
Maybe 2. The novelty would wear off, and now I'm stuck with this character. And, the thing about merits and flaws is they are easy to forget about as a storyteller, because we have a lot of shit going on, and remembering your merits and flaws is not a priority. So frankly, if you want to cheat the system, you can sneak some shit by your storyteller, usually. Please don't.
Yeah, it's not...
Make a character that don't take flaws as extra points. You'll get people who will do merits to balance it out, or do flaws just to pay for their merits. Like, no, just fucking spend the points. You can get more points.
Didn't you say you had a character or a player who did the one flaw where they would get attacked and they would seem like the weakest, so they get attacked first all the time?
Yes, and I didn't realize it because I didn't fact check their sheet too well. And then once I did, I had to ignore it intentionally, so that character didn't die every game.
Yep.
So cheating the system.
Yeah, congratulations on your free points. I'm working around this now because I would rather tell a good story than murder your character. And it would be my fault because I should have denied I should have said no.
Right.
So my negligence, you shouldn't be punished for that. You shouldn't be rewarded for it either.
But
out of the 2, right?
Just make a good character and don't abuse the system.
I mean, yes, that.
That's the perfect answer.
Yeah.
Master of Fire. Next.
All right, the last one from Ginger says, well, this said at least, how much do you like Garu politics in your game?
Depends on the game.
I was going to say, depending on the game, I think Garu politics, especially like tribal politics, I think is a huge part of the game.
It can be. And again, it depends on your game.
Yeah.
Time and place.
Yeah, you can get heavy with it. You can stay light with it. Depends on what you guys want.
Yeah.
Like, if my game takes place primarily around like the one specific area where they're spending a lot of time in septs, yeah, I try sprinkling it in as often as I can. Maybe never anything like super big or like noteworthy, but enough to be like, yeah, no, there's these lines, people, put themselves in these little groups. You might not ever see the Geta Fenris and the Black Fury at the same table, but they're both in their own little sections of like the training grounds. But now if it's a game where you're, going through the city or constantly on jobs, then you're not going to see it a lot.
Solid point.
I think one of my favorite examples, and this is, I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm gonna.
Sure.
I don't even. It's gonna come up in future postmortems, not too far from here.
I have an idea what you're saying.
But there's the character Shroud of Claw, the Glass Walker, who finds himself kind of in between a rock and a hard place because he has the elder Max, who's an old wise guy who's taken an interest in him.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, there's Nathaniel Owens in the Sept, who has taken an interest in him. And they're, of course, from different camps. So you got that old wise guy and that corporate wolf. And he's got to pick a side, but he can't pick a side without pissing off the other one.
Yep, this is exactly what I thought you were going to go with it.
Yep. It's like, I always like that one, because it's a hell of a position to be in. Because, Owens is younger. He's got the pulse more in the direction of the tribe than the wise guys who really are just barely holding on. But this is an elder, and it's one of your elders.
Yep.
Which enemy do you want to make?
That's kind of a fun scenario.
Right?
Exactly. So Garu politics can make for awesome story.
I also like when I brought Scratch Eye into that cairn. Because you had the Red Talon Elder and the Glasswalker Elder who would sit across the fire and just wait to want to kill each other.
Wait for the other one to make
a bad just move. Like someone looks at them cross-eyed, so it's justification for murdering the other one. Doesn't make awkward story time, does it?
Perfect. All right. Buddhist again wants to know, what tribe do you think Chuck Norris would be from?
I don't know, whatever he wants to be.
Iron Rider.
Walker. Texas Ranger.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at this point, like some kind of incarnate.
The bearded fist.
Okay.
I'd like to point out, this is super unrelated, that we have some of the best local commercials, or we used to.
Uh-huh.
We used to have a place called Chester Boots.
I remember.
And Chester Boots had the best spokesman of all time. It was Chuck Morris.
I was vaguely...
A redheaded man with a beard and a white karate gi.
Yep.
He could chop glass in half, and he could chop a cinder block. He could chop metal pipes. But he couldn't chop the boots in half. Chester Boots are too strong for him to karate chop in.
Oh no, that's funny.
That's all.
All right. So Hush wants to know, last juncture you guys talked about the merits and flaws you don't like. What are the ones that you do like or you add to roleplay potential?
Oh my god. I'm glad he told us last time, because I don't remember this at all.
Two.
I'm a huge fan of Lucky. No.
I am. That's going to go scorched earth next fucking day.
I know it is. And again, that's why I don't use it very often. I might have used it twice this entire game so far.
Well, again, it's you guys know I sleep on those, so you can get away with some shit. It's my fault.
I like the enhanced senses one, but I like it because you have to pick one of the senses. You can't use all of them. I mean, I guess you could, but that'd be super expensive.
Just buy heightened senses.
That's what I'm saying. But one of those is, again, you have to pick one of the senses to do. So
the gift heightened senses.
Oh, well. I can just see people doing that plus and just stacking that like crazy.
I'd say I wouldn't allow that, but I probably have, historically. Negligence. What up?
For me, it's mainly flavor ones. I like the merits and flaws that people add to their characters to, just once again, add flavor to the character or to inform certain aspects of them. One of my favorite little simple ones is Strict Carnivore. The mechanics of it is you don't actually gain any nourishment from anything that's not meat.
I think I have that.
And I've gotten to see little scenes where it's come up once or twice, but it's always funny when it happens, and at the same time in character perspective.
I think I have that.
I see it. I have a favorite that I took on Carly. It doesn't come into play very often. It does like have a mechanical aspect, but I just think it's kind of fun. Double jointed.
Oh.
So yeah, you just get a -2 difficulty if you are like grasped by somebody, if you're trying to wriggle free. It's just kind of a fun one to have. It doesn't come up very often, but like if it does ever come up, it's usually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I just imagine like if somebody's like grappled me, right? And Carly just like kind of wriggles free, like popping her joints in ways they shouldn't and just kind of squeezes out. Like, fuck you.
I got to give it to you. I have one in mind specifically. And it, again, doesn't come up super often, which is kind of my fault, but...
Sometimes that's the fun reason, though, so...
Well, yeah, the story, right? The story is persistent parents.
We talked about this in the, I don't know, I think it's in the postmortem.
Such a fun one.
Right, like I like the idea, it's not always viable to use, or to the extent of which, but yeah. I like persistent parents. I think it can be a lot of fun. It's kind of akin to having, I don't know, like a little girl with a crush on you. It sounds like Miss Piggy running around a city.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it was the last postmortem.
Hey, Fuzzy!
Yeah, I think it was.
She's gonna learn karate.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then Hush again. Other than Access Monday and the Book of Auspices, are there any other books you'd recommend for a newbie Thurge? And maybe any other book recommendations for the other auspices too? So Thurge first, but...
Well, really, I think, you're good there. Book of Auspices and Access Monday. In terms of the other auspices, maybe Who's Who of the Garra Nation? Or probably that first and foremost for a Galliard.
For Galliard, okay.
Yeah. It's a book that never gets brought up, but it's just a collection of poems and stories for every tribe.
Oh, that's right. Okay, nice. Anything from you two?
I don't have any particular books, but I do have one recommendation for a Thurge. If you haven't seen this part of the show yet, why have you not? But it's anytime like the spirit world is brought up in the original run of Avatar.
Okay.
Oh, good one.
To get that idea of how you could potentially interact with spirits, like Ko the Face Stealer is a great. Spirits having their little rules you have to follow, or something might happen.
Agreed. That is a sweet fucking example.
All right.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
And go fucking watch Avatar.
It's true. The Last Airbender, not James Cameron.
Yeah.
And to be clear, the
cartoon.
Yeah, the animated series, not the live action anything.
Correct.
Not the Netflix series, not the M. Night Shyamalan movie, just the real one.
I did watch the Netflix series.
Not as good.
It's not as good. I mean, they kept a lot of really cool things, but it's just not the cartoon.
I mean, that's the bottom line, is don't do live action anime. They can't. You can't top the original fucking method. It's never going to look better. It's, you know what I mean? It's never going to... Just watch the real one. Watch it as intended and stop it. We don't need live action remakes of shit. Ruin Cowboy Bebop.
Bastards. Ugh. All right. Spoons asks, how do you come up with decent deed names?
Then I'll take that one last.
Okay. For me, it's usually one of the things of like, I try to make them as descriptive as possible. And there is a certain flow that you have to hit with the deed name to get it to sound right when you say it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times and usually I'll make the deed name first for a character and then write around it to try and like influence the character and form more of it off of it. one of my favorite examples is one of my Indigo Ragabashes. And this was like my first D name that I fucking loved. And it's like, I am using this whenever I get the chance. And it is Silent Claws on Ice, paints the snow red.
I like that.
That's good.
Like, it sounds like just a simple little phrase, but when you break it down, it informs a little bit about the character. You know, the Ragabash part is that Silent Claws on Ice. But at the same time, think about how fucking sneaky you gotta be to not have Lupus Claws clicking on ice when you run.
Or like a nail file.
Yeah.
Snowshoes.
And it's not Claws on Ice. But, and then, the paints the snow red is just the Garu flavor added onto it. Garu are warriors, Garu are killers. And, adding that red snow imagery to a Wendigo is just kind of a no-brainer.
See, I'll edit it real quick. It's funny. It's like, I think that's a great name.
Uh-huh.
I'd use that for a Stargazer, and then for a Wendigo, I'd break that into 2 different names.
Oh, good call.
But I like the longer names like that for the Stargazers.
Yes.
The more poetic sounding names. And then the super long form for the Garu Fenris. But, sorry.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Oh, no. I've done it before. I have cut the name up a few times.
Them?
I am particularly bad at naming. It is not a gift of mine. I can barely come up with Hamid names for my characters. That is not a joke. ChatGPT came up with Carly Emberstring.
Really?
Yes, I hate naming things. It is my least favorite thing to do. I'm just not confident at all in my ability to name things.
That actually reminds me of Community, the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons episode, and the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons episode, where Abed gave us chestnuts like Hector the Well-Endowed.
Yes, that's who it was. Hector the Well-Endowed.
And Mar.
Yes.
My personal favorite, though, was Joseph Gordon Diehard.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the shit I would come up with. I'm not good at naming things, so I just let somebody else do it for me.
I could see the same thing. I was not very good at naming. Actually, all of the names that Jaeger had were all some form of version that Porter came up with, and maybe I kind of tweaked, and we came up together, or whatever the case. But Ricochet was on my own, and I figured a Bonar, it's a little bit different with Bonars. That I didn't have to go with the whole blood drinker or whatever the verb is that he's going to be called. I can come up with something like almost random garbage sounding. That sounds so weird, but it makes sense if you're a Bonar, right?
I'm just trying not to take shots at 4 or 5 different things when you said something garbage sounding.
Yeah.
Like Godfather 3. Or that was the low-hanging fruit.
Renewed Salvation.
Or Earthblood.
It's a good thing you're not taking shots at those. I get it.
I'm stopping. Stopping for it controversial.
But no, I don't even remember where I came up with the name Ricochet. But I honestly, I think I was playing some stupid little pinball game on the computer, and I was just trying to come up with random words that would sound kind of cool. And I know I came up with one for like his mentor, and I really liked, but I was like, well, I can't use that because it's his mentor. It was roadkill.
You could have.
I could have, but like I was happy with it for.
You want it to be Master Roadkill.
I was happy with it for the mentor. It didn't make sense for it to be.
You're not wrong. Sure it does.
Not one who just changed and hasn't really done anything with his life yet.
Because I'd have vetoed that. It's a better name.
Maybe, yeah.
I like that name better.
Maybe that should have been his name, was Vito. I don't know. But now, it was just
now you're
random.
stuck with Rico Suave. So.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. It works.
Rico.
Suave.
Suave. Google that shit, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, very, very sorry. But yeah, you did say we were last, so.
Yes. But we've talked about this before. And as far as tips, number one, you have to say the name out loud. And you have to say it out loud more than once, because there's different contexts and different ways you say the name.
Mm-hmm.
I would think about a shorthand version of that name, too, and consider how that will come off. But when choosing the names, I like to inform or base it off of who they are or things they have done. Is there a story behind it? There's not always one, right?
Uh-huh.
I look at a character like Stands the Long Shadow. Is it a reference to the status of his grandfather, Swimming Bird? Butchers in the Shadows is just a verb.
What does Butchers in the Shadows do?
That is why he's called that. He is a nightmare, and
he reads books and knits in his spare time.
That's not accurate. Whiplash will tell you his name is based on his speed and ferocity in battle, and that's a lie. It's because his real name is Derek Snidley, which sounds a lot like Snidely, as in Snidely Whiplash.
Yep. You haven't. I think you've only said that on air once or twice.
Well, there you go. And, something embarrassing enough, but right there, the kids would latch onto to make fun of, that he ain't going to get rid of it.
Uh-huh.
So he twists the meaning by fucking you up for doing it.
Uh-huh.
Sekhmet Rainmaker, so named because he has been known to, quote, perform miracles, either on the battlefield or in his thirginess. Sage Windover Mountain, because again, I like the poetic sounding names for stargazers. Falling Leaf at Twilight.
Right.
It's fancy.
My favorite is still Dead Man Dempsey.
Because
one of my favorites.
Because you're a dead man, Dempsey.
Yep. Beautiful.
So yeah, you want to think of the why. Usually, was there a good story behind it? Or is there a deed behind it?
The why is just as important as the name itself.
It can be. Sometimes it's just because it sounds cool, or because they think it sounds cool.
Yeah. I think. For example.
I wasn't going to say that
that's
loud.
actually, no, that's a great example.
Yeah.
Night Fang thinks that sounds cool.
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Or hey, another modern example which cracks me up. MacIver Bullet Dodger. I mean, Bullet Dodger is obviously, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah,
that was earned in battle through his stuff. But MacIver. He chose MacIver as his human and expects people to call him that and take him seriously. That is so absurd, and I love it.
Yep, it's amazing.
But I think on that note...
Yep. MacIver's where we end it.
Oh my God.
If we didn't get to yours, don't worry. There are a lot more to go, and again, we are doing the junk drawers a little bit more often, as well as the Two Wolves, so we can get these lists down.
But that is our time for today. So, on behalf of everyone here at the old Scratch and Wolf Studio, that's Mr. CJ, that's a Miss Am, that's a Mr. Danny Tyson, and myself. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Make sure to come back next time and see us, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep your claws sharp, your head in a swivel. We'll see you. You put that shit in your mouth.